Just do it. It'll turn out okay. And today, we are not only continuing our multiverse mini-series talking about different multiverses out there in film land, we're also continuing our Marvel mini-sode too. We're talking about the next Marvel movie on the list of the MCU. And that movie is the Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did not see this movie in the theaters, but I did see it. I did watch it on Disney Plus when it came out.
I also skipped it in theaters.
Oh, okay. So then that right there tells me that out of everyone here, I was the only one who saw this at the movie theater.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but that's okay, I guess.
Right. So yeah, so were you excited to see it at the theaters then, since you actually went to it?
I was, yeah. The fact that this movie came right off of the hype of Spider-Man: No Way Home, and everybody loved the fact that it brought back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, introduced the multiverse and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So because of that, a lot of people were really, really hyped to see this, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't hate the movie, but I was disappointed.
Yeah, actually,
I think I should say one thing that provides a lot of context. The thing is, No Way Home came out first, and then Multiverse of Madness came out after. It was actually supposed to be the other way around. Multiverse of Madness was supposed to come out first, then Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yeah, I think I heard.
But the reason why they reversed it was because of COVID delays. And because of that, they had to rewrite both movies to accommodate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, you can tell by watching both movies, you can tell that Multiverse of Madness was supposed to introduce the multiverse concept, and No Way Home was supposed to build on it. Because when you look at both of them, No Way Home just feels grander in scale as to what it did with the multiverse thing. Whereas Multiverse of Madness felt like it was meant to be the start. So you get the grand entrance first, and then what was supposed to be the entrance after. So it's only natural that it's going to feel underwhelming.
So you think that one scene in the pizza place was like we'll talk about later was like inserted in afterwards then?
Where they mention where Doctor Strange mentions No Way Home's events, they probably filmed that after they decided that they had to switch the order. Yeah,
that would make sense. Yeah.
But before we start, actually you mentioned the hype. Actually, No Way Home made me maybe less psyched to see Multiverse of Madness.
I was possibly intrigued by it. But I'll admit, it was largely because I was interested to see, there were lots of, speculation. If they brought in, all the Sam Raimi and Mark Webb characters into, No Way Home, there's rumors of Patrick Stewart going to be in the movie. Who else are they going to get? Are they going to get the Tim Story Fantastic Four? Are they going to get Wesley Snipes' Blade? Are they going to get the other X-Men? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Spoilers, only Patrick Stewart, and he's not even playing his X-Men series character. He's playing a completely separate He's playing a completely separate Professor X.
Yeah, but like I said, Doctor Strange's accents in the No Way Home movie made me almost dislike him a little bit, the character, because of how he was.
Oh, that's fair enough.
But yeah. I also heard one rumor saying that they were going to get Tom Cruise to play a variant of Tony Stark. And the reason for Tom Cruise was because Tom Cruise actually was supposed to play Tony Stark in the original Iron Man.
Well, they did eventually get a Bruce Campbell to make an appearance.
Yeah.
As he usually does with Sam Raimi.
Yep. But yeah. So
let's get started. The movie begins at what looks like the end of another movie almost. Middle of an action scene with him,
Yeah.
and then
That giant monster that had that giant eye.
yeah, and this is we were introduced to a character called America Cerveris.
America Chavez, I think, right?
Chavez, yes, that's right. I can't pronounce. The girl who do you know about her in the comics at all?
No. I think she's a pretty recent comic character, so that could be the reason.
I haven't ever read any of the Doctor Strange comics, and I mean, to be honest, I had no idea who Doctor Strange even was until when the movie came out. So
I knew who Doctor Strange was thanks to the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, because he's actually one of the characters that's a bit more notable in that game, because the game split into 5 acts. Act 2, the home base that the characters use is the Sanctum Sanctorum, like Doctor Strange's place.
right.
Yeah. I knew of him from the 94 Spider-Man cartoon on Fox.
Yeah, he is in that. Like, the 94 Spider-Man cartoon had a lot of Marvel characters in it.
Yeah, like I believe even Daredevil was in one of them.
Daredevil, Blade, let's see, the
Punisher.
Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Punisher.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're...
I think the one character they didn't have was the Hulk, and that's because he had his own animated series on a rival network.
Okay, so that explains it then.
Yes. So, like I said, we go into this. We're in the middle of a battle with with a tentacle monster attacking him. Which from the commentary, I was told that eye was actually Elizabeth Olsen's eye. In the monster, they took a screenshot of her eye and put that in the monsters.
Oh.
Yeah. So kind of like a, if you knew what her eye looks like, I guess, then you see that that's a spoiler. But but they find what's called the Book of Vishanti. Apparently, it's like the opposite of the Darkhold.
Yeah, kind of sounds like the book, from the Evil Dead in a way.
I still need to watch the Evil Dead movies. I've never seen them.
I've seen every single one of them.
Wow. All right, so continue on.
All right, so they catch up the book, but the monster gets there first, and Doctor Strange is like, you know what? I can defeat it, but I'm going to steal your powers first. And she's like, what?
Oh, so he's continuing to be charming, huh?
And I guess, for the rest of the movie, I guess it causes a little distrust between her and other Doctor Stranges, because, one tried to kill me. I'm not going to trust them again.
Mm.
Would you trust someone if they try to kill you from one universe and you went to another universe and met them again?
Probably.
About you, Eric?
Yeah.
You would trust him or you wouldn't trust him?
Would I trust Doctor Strange?
Well, him or anybody that killed you in one universe, try to kill you in one universe, you go to another universe to meet the guy again, and you're like, oh, I just met you. You tried to kill me.
Yeah. If he tried to kill me, then I would kind of have a hard time trusting him.
But then he gets killed by the monster. I was told in the commentaries that they did that so he could age super fast or something. So for later scenes, he'd be almost like an undead zombie character. Apparently, they wanted the fast decomposing, even though it's only been a day.
Yeah, and reminds me of how before the movie came out, I heard that it was going to be more of like a horror movie. I heard at one point it was going to be more of like a true horror film. It had a few horror elements, but it wasn't really a horror film. I'm guessing they did that just to play it safe. They probably were afraid if they made it like a true horror film, then
they had to get an R rating or something.
Yeah, another
PG-13.
spoiler for that. They pushed the PG-13 rating to its limit, like a little foreshadowing.
They certainly did, which I will give them props for that.
I mean, in fairness, in regards to the horror aspect, even like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy had like a couple of scenes that were like straight out of a horror movie, like the surge operating table scene with Doc Ock and Spider-Man.
Yeah,
2.
definitely. Yeah.
Then there's like there's like a very brief moment, like then there's moments with like the Venom fight in Spider-Man 3. So yeah.
So
like horror is his Sam Raimi specialty.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's because before Spider-Man, before Doctor Strange, Sam Raimi primarily was known for horror films.
Like Evil Dead.
Yeah, Evil Dead, and I believe he even produced Boogeyman, and I believe he produced the Poltergeist remake.
Huh.
I believe so. I mean, I don't know how true that is. I mean, if somebody could clarify in the comments, that would be great. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, we find out her powers are activated by, I guess, fear or something, or stress at this moment, and she, the monster, and the body head off to our universe, which I guess is universe 9,999 or something like that.
Oh, in the movie they try to claim it's Earth 616, which is the mainline comic universe.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of confusing because the MCU does have its own Earth designation.
Yeah, I did know the comics, at least the current comics, are 616.
I believe the mainline comics have always been 616, and from what I understand, in Multiverse of Madness, they try to claim that in the mainline MCU universe is 616.
Well, that doesn't make any sense since
it doesn't.
Since Spider-Man itself, Mary Jane and Michelle Jones are two different characters, or MJ technically, but
Yeah, but I mean, it is confusing because they did give the MCU its own distinct Earth thing.
Yeah.
Like its own distinct number. Like it was like you were saying, like it was like 20 something. Like that sounded about right from what I remember reading.
Yeah. But the next thing, I mean apparently Doctor Strange just dreamt what just happened in his dreams. And apparently that's a thing they talk about later, that your dreams are about other universes, you in other universes. Which means, I guess, in one universe, I dreamed that I was clearly in one universe that we did a water park in our city. So I was in that universe. That sounds fun. That sounded fun. You ever had any weird dreams? You two ever had any weird dreams about like that?
Probably.
I don't know like that specifically, but I certainly have had a lot of weird dreams throughout my life. Yeah.
I still have my document of like dreams I used to like write down.
Nice.
Because I used to have these incredibly strange dreams, and I would write them down just to recount them to some friends. And I mean, I haven't had one in a while, but I still have the document of the ones I did have.
Yeah, maybe who knows? Maybe that was you from another universe.
I remember there was one dream I had my sophomore year of high school where I was on the football team, and me and the football team were on a bus, and we were all, driving to the game. We were on a hill. Then all of a sudden, out of complete nowhere, a Tyrannosaurus Rex appeared behind the hill, and then it started to attack our bus. It was the most random, weirdest dream. Yeah. And why I remember that dream, I don't know. Maybe because I like dinosaurs, but other than that, that was a weird-ass dream. And I remember at that time, that I was dating this girl at that time, and I told her about the dream. She then gave me that look on my face as if I absolutely was insane. And I can see why.
Yeah, the only reason I remember that strongly was I was back at my middle school climbing the stairs at my middle school. That's all. Talking to a friend of mine from back then. I'm like, that's a weird dream.
Mine are the ones that I wrote down are completely freaking random. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to go on here because we kind of have to go back to the movie. But
yeah. Okay, so like schedule it for another time to dream episode. But anyways, here we go. And Doctor Strange wakes up and he goes to the wedding of his ex. Now they broke up in the last movie, right?
Not that I recall.
I don't think so. I think the implication is that they broke up with circumstances regarding the blip from Avengers Infinity War.
Oh, okay. I thought they broke up over his hand thing or something, his broken hand.
I don't know if it necessarily involved that, but yeah.
What I find a coincidence, I just realized this. The very first Doctor Strange was directed by Scott Derrickson, I believe, and Scott directed Sinister, which was a horror film, and then Doctor Strange 2 was done by Sam Raimi, and the fact that Sam Raimi also has done some horror films. So, I just find that, just such a big coincidence.
So, I've got a sucko. I guess being friends with your ex, still wanting your ex, being friends with them still, and just like, oh, I'm going to my ex's wedding because reasons, I guess.
Yeah. From what I heard, Doctor Strange 2 actually was going to be an even darker film than what we got, but I believe it was studio interference. On that pretty much is the reason why that we didn't get that.
So he gets married. He's all wistfully looking at from a distance, like, what could have been, the what ifs of the Marvel universe, where here comes the plot. Here comes the tentacle monster. Everyone's like, ooh, ah. He does this, spins his drink, pulls out his cape, and a costume appears. Like, how? I guess like a little magician, like a real magician trick. He put the entire cape in his little pocket. That's some good folding. I think it's some good folding then.
Oh yeah, definitely yeah.
Floats down. From a YouTube short, I saw. Apparently, he summons a dragon or something that catch that car barreling towards the lady and the baby. He tries to save her. Wong had to come in and help him. The new Sorcerer Supreme, and the cape saves the girl, smashes the building, and they all catch him. They all beat the monster by plucking out by like I said, mentioning the horror movie parts, by pulling out his eyeball, like with a thumb, almost like a stick or something, plugging the stick in and pulling out the monster's eyeball. That's one of the things you talked about where they stretch the PG-13 rating. But apparently apparently the commentary, they said they make comedic looking, so wouldn't it be like R rating?
Yeah, I believe that, I could be wrong, but I think that this is Sam Raimi's first studio film directing in a while. The last one that I could think of that he did was Oz the Great and the Powerful, and that was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
This is probably his first Marvel thing since the Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe he just needed a break from Hollywood.
Yeah, because Spider-Man 3, I believe, was a mess behind the scenes.
Oh, it was, yeah. From what I heard, you know, I heard like that the producers in the studio really pushed him to put Venom in the movie when he didn't want to put Venom in the movie, and there was a lot of studio interference with that movie, and the movie suffered because of it.
Yeah, you know, it's also funny though. Going back to the other movies real fast, like people complain. Some people complain that they thought there's too many villains in Spider-Man 3, the Tobey Maguire movie, Spider-Man 3, but they enjoyed all the villains in the Tom Holland Spider-Man 3.
Well, I believe for that, there was already build up, prior to all of those villains. So I think that that's how No Way Home was able to get away with it. Is because none of those villains, and like were villains like that were brand new, just introduced. These all were villains that we've seen before. So I think that that's why that nobody complained about that.
What do you think, Snick?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Well, they pulled it about America steals the sling ring, but gets caught obviously. And then that's where they have the what we believe is the inserted scene about the says we were talking about the multiverse before. We said we helped the Spider-Man deal with the multiverse a few I don't know how long it's been now. And this if it was just recently or if it's been a few months now or what, because it's like it looks like the spring or summer. It looks like spring or summer or something here maybe, and that movie happened at the end of Thanksgiving around, and that movie happened around say Thanksgiving time, because at the end of the movie it's right before Christmas, I guess. So, but now
Yeah.
it's more like warm, I guess, or less snowy, I guess. So I don't know how much time has passed since then. But they mentioned it, and apparently in all her Universal travels, she hasn't met not another Spider-Man. And so she talked about like from his butt or something, or I guess that's a reference. I guess kind of a reference to the Tobey Maguire one, Tobey Maguire who actually can produce stuff from himself instead of having to manufacture it.
Speaking of Tobey Maguire, I actually heard a rumor saying that Tobey Maguire was going to make a cameo in this movie. It would have made sense because the multiverse, and it's directed by Sam Raimi, and Sam Raimi obviously worked with Tobey Maguire before. So at that time, I actually genuinely thought that was going to happen, in Multiverse of Madness, and I was actually surprised by the fact that we didn't see that actually.
Yeah. I mean, there's rumors going around that because the MCU is moving into what they call the Multiverse Saga, there's lots of rumors going around that we haven't seen the last of Toby and Andrew, but I guess we have to see.
Yeah, mainly probably. I heard the possibility of Secret Wars, maybe.
Yeah, Secret Wars. Oh yeah, and there's also a rumor going around that Toby and Andrew might be doing the voices in the Into the Spider-Verse sequels, like the animated movie.
Yeah, and about that.
And also they hinted there might also be voices from Christopher Daniel Barnes and Josh Keaton from the '94 Spider-Man and Spectacular.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
from what I heard in the original Into the Spider-Verse, I actually heard a rumor saying that they actually were going to have Tom Holland and Toby and Andrew in it. I don't know how true that is, but yeah, that's just what I heard according to rumors.
Yeah.
Well, Sony's making its own. Apparently, Sony's making its own Sonyverse. So
Well, Into the Spider-Verse is like its own thing with Sony.
I also heard a rumor that there are talks of Sony finally doing an Amazing Spider-Man
3 for Andrew, yeah. Like there were lots of like requests for it.
Yeah, and actually, after No Way Home came out, from what I saw, there actually was more of a demand for an Amazing Spider-Man 3 rather than a Spider-Man 4.
With Tom
That says
Holland.
a lot.
Yeah. I think the hopes of like an Amazing Spider-Man 3 were dashed a little bit when it was announced that Andrew Garfield was like taking a break from acting for a little bit. But yeah.
Now, do you think that if they do that, off topic again, do you think if they do that, you think that it'll be just after the events of the originals, Amazing Spider-Man 2, or think it'll be after the events of No Way Home? Connecting it
Probably
It'd be
together?
nice if they did after No Way Home because they kind of implied that like Andrew still hadn't fully gotten over Gwen and all that. Like it would be interesting to see what he learned from No Way Home and like how he continues off of that.
Yeah, like I
Because
said in
like
that
it's
movie.
like shown in No Way Home, he has like confidence issues, and like Toby had to like give him like a pep talk.
You know, I never really thought about it till recently, but what he meant by that, where he said, "I stopped pulling my punches," but Spider-Man's pretty tough. I heard he's
Yeah,
strong.
it can be assumed that he. It's exactly what he said.
Like if Spider-Man wanted to kill someone, he could have probably with a punch.
Like what Tom almost did with Green Goblin in No Way Home.
And you can see him like actually punch the shield.
Yeah, on the Statue of Liberty. Like he actually makes a massive dent in it.
Well, she tells him she killed the other Strange. They find his dead body on the top of the roof, which they bury in the roof. Kind of like, I guess, kind of like old. They like they did in the olden mobster days. They buried people inside buildings, but with the magic. So,
Yeah.
and then we come to meet the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, which I'm not gonna lie, I definitely think that I will say Elizabeth Olsen definitely has to be my new celebrity crush. I think that she's absolutely gorgeous. You know, matter of fact, I think I'll go as far as saying, out of all the, out of all the girls in the Marvel movies, all in all, I think I'll go as far as saying that she's the hottest one. Yeah, I know a lot of people say that it will be Scarlett Johansson. I mean, Scarlett Johansson definitely is hot, but I don't know, just something about Elizabeth Olsen. I think that she's just gorgeous.
Well, yeah, you have different picks of the hottest MCU
girls. In your own opinion?
Is that my own question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard you like.
No, Scarlet Witch and Black Widow are probably the ones.
There's not that actually. There's not that many really female. I guess there's Scarlet Witch. There's Black Widow. There's some more now. There's half of the cast of Black Panther.
Of the new one.
Yeah, which I have not seen the new Black Panther yet.
Either have I. Yeah, I still gotta see it. Hopefully before Christmas.
I haven't had time.
Yeah, the problem is the longer you don't see something, the harder it is to keep away from spoilers.
It is, yeah, and that's the crappy thing is even before a big name movie comes out, people will be posting spoilers just because they saw like an early showing. So
I hate to go off subject. Can I talk about one?
Sure.
Well, first of all, Eric, have you played Spider-Man PS4?
Yes, I have, and
have you finished it?
Finished it, no. But if you want to give away spoiler, that's okay.
Okay. So, you know what? I'll try to avoid spoilers. Basically, there is a very key death scene in Spider-Man PS4. And I got spoiled what the death scene was. And you know how I got spoiled?
YouTube?
It was on YouTube, yeah. But it was not a video clip of the scene. You know what it was? It was a community post.
A
The
community
community post basically gave a eulogy to the character from this death scene. And the way they worded the eulogy made it seem like an actor who played the character in one of the movies died. So the way they word it, I click on the post. I'm like, wait, one of the Spider-Man actors died? And I'm like, oh, wait, you son of a bitch. And I quickly clicked don't recommend channel. It's like, why would you word it like that?
Yeah.
Why would you word it like that?
Yeah.
Like, all I'm going to say is they worded it like somebody in real life passed away. Like, I get people are passionate about, like, fictional characters, like, in, like, media, but, like...
Right.
Jesus, hell.
I agree. I think that was a really unprofessional way of
Yeah.
handling that. And, you know, one other rumor that I heard about Multiverse of Madness, I heard a rumor saying that they were going to bring back Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider.
Oh, how did I forget a couple of these? I forgot Toby, I forgot Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, you know... I'm not gonna lie, you know, to see him back as Ghost Rider, I think that would have been badass, and
yeah.
I think that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, technically, if you can, it depends if you consider Shield, Agents of Shield canon now or not. Like it used to be, they had their own Ghost Rider in that series.
Yeah, they did. I think it was not Johnny Blaze though. I think it was one of the other Ghost Riders.
But yeah, but because of the multiverse now, they certainly really can get away with having more than one version of Ghost Rider, so that could work.
Technically, they had two.
So
in that.
There is still time to bring back versions of characters from other movies. I mean, they already confirmed Deadpool from the X-Men series is coming in, and everybody was fucking excited when they announced that Hugh Jackman was coming back to play Wolverine.
Yeah, and about that, I was both surprised and shocked because, from my understanding, Hugh Jackman quit playing the role because of medical reasons, like skin cancer or something like that.
My understanding is he wanted to keep going, but he was convinced to retire on a high note by Jerry Seinfeld, of all people.
Wait, Jerry
and that's
Seinfeld?
why he wanted Logan to be his last movie.
Wait, Jerry Seinfeld convinced Hugh Jackman to not play Wolverine?
If I remember correctly, it was him, yeah.
Huh, I never heard about that.
Maybe it was somebody else, but it was somebody you wouldn't think that had a talk with Hugh Jackman about it, like kind of like casual, and Hugh Jackman had a realization to himself, I think I need to go out on a high note. So that's why he intended to retire with Logan. And then Deadpool 2, like they just use archive footage from like X-Men Origins to have like that post-credit scene where Deadpool just keeps shooting like his shitty X-Men Origins counterpart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess they convinced him to come. I guess Ryan Reynolds was like bugging Hugh Jackman about it for I don't know how long, and I don't know what they did, but now that Deadpool's going to be in the MCU, like Hugh Jackman always said he wanted his version of Wolverine to cross over to the MCU, and I think in particular he wanted to have a fight with the Hulk.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that that's how Ryan Reynolds was able to convince him, to come back for Deadpool 3, because, just so in that way Hugh Jackman can finally get his chance to actually be
it would be nice if the Hulk did appear in the movie. After all, he is still in the MCU as of now, and I think that he can keep appearing for the foreseeable future because, well, he's like Professor Hulk, so it's all CG. It's not like Mark Ruffalo has to do like physical work at it, other than like the mocap.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
we have to wait 2 years for that.
Hopefully, it will be a
Like,
wait worth it.
All right, go on.
checking something. No, it's still hidden right now. But anyways, they go. He goes to I can't remember her name. What's Wanda?
Yeah, the Scarlet Witch.
I knew Scarlet Witch, but I tried to remember her name. Which,
Right.
by the way, they in here they I guess they mention the events of
WandaVision.
her TV series.
Yeah,
So
see, this is where like some of the new MCU movies are a bit more divisive. Because originally you just had to see the movies. Like, sure, you had like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of that, but those are like kind of side stuff, like stuff you didn't really need to see to understand the movies.
Right.
Now we're getting movies where you need to watch the Disney Plus shows in order to understand them. Like, basically, in order to understand why Scarlet Witch does what she does in Multiverse of Madness, you need to have seen WandaVision.
Yeah, and I remember one of my friends on Facebook posted that on Facebook saying that, yeah, if you haven't seen WandaVision, you're going to be extremely confused about what in the world is going on.
Oh yeah, another multiverse. They actually did a little bit of a multiverse, like cop-out cock tease, basically, because in WandaVision, we get Evan Peters reprising his role as what seems to be Quicksilver from the X-Men series, but then it turns out he's just like an actor that like Wanda brainwashed.
Yeah, and which is interesting. It's because of the fact that we had, the Aaron Taylor Johnson version.
Yeah, like that whole like debacle that resulted in 2 separate Quicksilvers, and then Marvel Studios had to be a little bit embarrassed when people wound up preferring the 20th century version.
Yep.
Yeah, and maybe that's why they killed him off early in Age of Ultron, like their version.
Maybe, perhaps.
Maybe, but yeah.
Yeah, because who knows? Maybe Wanda still is. I know she's dead or not now, but maybe she still was Magneto's daughter. But
yeah, but yeah, anything that's gonna have Elizabeth Olsen in it, I'm totally going to be all for watching it.
But anyways, he goes there. I don't know if he knew already, or he just suspected or what. He goes there, asks for help, and she mentions, oh, we got to protect America. She could be helpful, like, and be like, and you never said her name, did you? She's like, nope. And that's when we know she's a villain again.
Yeah, and originally, I heard that Scarlet Witch wasn't even going to be the bad guy. It was going to be someone else. I forget who the bad guy was supposed to be. But yeah, hey Dylan, what's up? But yeah, so I kind of feel like it's cool, the fact that they made Scarlet Witch the bad guy, because I kind of feel like that it gave Elizabeth Olsen a lot more to do. So and it kind of expanded on her character. I mean, her character in Multiverse of Madness there kind of reminded me of Carrie.
Yeah, kind of. I could see that.
Yeah, she started out as the villain and ended as the villain, because she was a villain. She was a villain in her first appearance of Age of Ultron.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and apparently we don't see it here. I guess because of the hex, or maybe it's either the hex or because of the illusion. But her fingers are starting to turn black. Her hand is because of the dark hold. Or burnt or something, or maybe rotted or something. Apparently, using it affects the body. You can see it later scenes how her fingers are all like they're turning black or something, or burnt or something. So they do their I'm coming for, and they bring everyone to, I guess, is it Tibet or something? Is that where is that where the big thing is, or Nepal, or
somewhere over there.
yeah, they bring out the big battle. All of the all of the people from everywhere coming there. And then they do the little joke, I guess, about how you're supposed to bow to Sorcerer Supreme, and the other people from the other buildings do that, and he's like, "See." So apparently, difference from what I've heard, difference between Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch is the Scarlet Witch is more pure. Is more pure raw magic. Well, Doctor Strange is more like he's not as powerful, but he's more refined in his techniques. He's more practice, I guess. I guess it's the difference between natural talent and trained talent, maybe, or practice, I guess, or I'm trying to say, don't you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Who's more powerful, raw untapped magic, or just practiced, focused magic?
I'm not sure.
Apparently, in this case, it was raw magic because she was fine. They're holding off for a fine until she used her Age of Ultron abilities to get in someone's head.
Yeah.
And that broke the thing, broke the shield. She can, and here comes another stretching of the limit here. Talk about all these burnt bodies everywhere, dead people. You can see talk about in the commentary, all these like burnt human corpses on stage.
Yeah.
I cannot. I'd be throwing up right now if this was real.
Oh yeah. There. Definitely, yeah.
So, like, you got weak stomach too?
So, what all did you think of the cameo from Mr. Fantastic, played by John Krasinski?
I was seeing a lot of reactions of people worried about a missed opportunity because he was a very popular fan casting for the MCU version, like the proper MCU version of Mr. Fantastic, and they're worried that now they had him appearing in Multiverse of Madness as like an alternate dimension counterpart. They're worried they wasted him.
Yeah,
especially since now we know there is a Fantastic Four movie coming out in the MCU.
Yeah, I was more so irritated like that, that they wrote him to be kind of an idiot when, when he's supposed to be this really intelligent character, and then, he straight up tells Scarlet Witch how to defeat one of them.
Which is Black Bolt, returning from the Inhumans TV series, the same actor, though he's in his comic accurate costume.
Yeah, and I definitely hope that we can still get John Krasinski in that Fantastic Four solo movie. I really hope that we can, because if he's wasted in this Multiverse of Madness, just in that small part, that will be a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fantastic Four, I heard, it was rumored up. I heard that they were a rumor that they're going to they're gonna buy the old Tony Stark towers for their headquarters.
That would make sense for the Fantastic Four. Yeah, and I heard the new Fantastic Four was supposed to be directed by John Watts.
By the guy who did like the new Spider-Man.
Yeah, but but he backed off for whatever reason. So instead it's someone else. I really hope that we can get Emily Blunt as Mrs. Fantastic, and
you mean Invisible Woman?
Yeah, Invisible Woman, yeah. And we can still get John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, because that would be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It would
It's gonna be a hell of a lot better than Fan 4 Stick, the 2015 one.
I also even heard rumors saying that they were gonna all saying that those Fantastic Four was gonna make a cameo in Multiverse Madness, but I don't think anybody was clamoring for that.
I mean, considering what happens to the Mr. Fantastic in the movie, I think people may have actually been a little bit excited just to see that.
I don't know if it was a rumor or someone else said it, or if he said it himself, but something about, I don't know if he said it himself or someone else said it, about Chris Evans replaying Johnny Blake.
Oh yeah, replaying Human Torch.
Yeah, I think I heard about that, which, I mean, it would have made sense.
I mean, and I bring up that how people probably would have wanted the 2015 versions of the characters back just to see them die, because they already did that in the comics once.
Yeah. And on top of that, everybody hated the 2015 movie. But I mean, a lot of people hated Amazing Spider-Man 2, but yet, they totally redeemed Electro, and they also totally redeemed Andrew Garfield too. Excuse me.
Oh yeah.
So it's possible that they could have redeemed that version of the Fantastic Four.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, because the thing is, for the Amazing Spider-Man movies, one of the things that was not criticized about them was Andrew Garfield. He was considered like a genuinely good Spider-Man actor. There's not a whole lot that can be nice things that can be said about the 2015 Fantastic Four.
Yeah, everybody was bouncing on that movie left and right, and I also heard about all the behind-the-scenes drama.
Yeah, Josh Trank was an absolute asshole.
That's what I heard.
I was watching, thinking of Amazing Spider-Man 2, I was watching a video about this, they're talking about the different love interests of Spider-Man throughout the movie universes and stuff. They said, someone said something about how they didn't like, even though, I guess, one of Gwen's thing is to die or something, in the comic books at least, they didn't want that to be the death of a character to, I guess, what's the word, like, to, not adapt or promote the heroes. I forget what the word was.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that a movie about the making of Fan Four Stick actually would be better than
the actual well, it would be like a disaster artist.
Yeah. Like the disaster artist,
Yeah. But anyways, back to our review fast. They battle her. She goes through mirrors. And then she tries to drain America's powers, but she does the scream thing again. And she goes through all these universes. I guess there's a universe where I guess they go to the comic universe. They go to the comic book universe. I guess they see comic books. They go through other universes, like paint other stuff, and they finally end up. I think they end up in universe 836. I think they called it. I'm not sure.
Where 800 something.
Yeah, where apparently Doctor Strange defeated Thanos, so there was no blip, I guess.
Yeah.
Where everyone's wearing hats. Green means stop, red means go. They had pizza balls.
From Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, and he makes Bruce Campbell beat himself up.
But yeah, since that Bruce Campbell now has been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think it would be cool, like if they were to have Ash, be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Who owns Evil Dead currently? Does Sony?
That's a good question. I think Sony
I think
Evil
they
Dead remake.
do. At least I think the only one they don't own is Army of Darkness.
Yeah, because I think that was done by Universal.
Which is weird. Because all I know is that whenever you see bundles of the movies online, it's always the first two movies, and then more recently I saw one that had the first two movies and then the whole Ash vs. Evil Dead series.
So yeah,
But they never have Army of Darkness in there.
So yeah, so the rights are a little bit complicated. The first Evil Dead movie that I actually saw was the third one, Army of
Darkness. Yeah.
That was the first one that I saw. But yeah, what all did you think of the fight scene between Scarlet Witch and and all of those other characters?
The Illuminati, as they were called.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Shows Sam Raimi's horror directing techniques because the way she takes them out is freaking gruesome.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, that's the scene where they push the PG-13 to its limits.
Oh yeah.
Before we go to that, let's go back up a little bit. They go to this world, and all of a sudden, here we meet Mordo, and he pretends he's a good guy again, but Dr. Trent doesn't trust him already, because of what happened in the first movie. Mm-hmm. They go there, and here's our at least the movie. Here's our introduction in the movie universe to the Illuminati. Have you ever heard about these characters before, the Illuminati and the other Marvel products, or not?
No, I don't think so.
I think I recall seeing Captain America's girlfriend in the Illuminati.
Peggy Carter was her own version of Captain America.
That was the name, yeah. Playing like a variant of Captain America.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did that in the comics.
They probably did, and I think they first introduced her in the What If series on Disney Plus.
That would make sense. So it sounds like not only do you have to see WandaVision to understand this, you also have to see the What If series too.
Yeah, and that's one of the criticized aspects of the recent MCU movies, that you have to do a lot of homework in order to understand them.
Okay. We have Illuminati. They have Mordo in this one. They have Professor X, at least a variant of him. They have the Black Bolt. They have Mr. Fantastic. They have, I guess, a version of Captain Marvel, I guess.
They do have a version of Captain Marvel, I think, who instead is her friend from the Captain Marvel movie.
And then they have, Peggy Carter or something became Captain America instead of Steve Rogers.
Yeah. It's interesting to note that apparently this version of Professor X is actually meant to be based on the 90s animated series. In fact, when he first appears, you can hear a little bit of the theme song from that series play.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why they're playing so much favorites of the 90s animated series. Did you know it's coming back on Disney Plus? They're doing a revival of it.
But yeah, I mean, Disney Plus really definitely has been on a nostalgia binge. So yeah, I'm really not surprised about that.
Honestly, I feel like Spider-Man deserved the revival a little bit more, only because Spider-Man more blatantly ended on a cliffhanger.
At the end of the 90s, where it says, "Let's go find your girlfriend," and then they never do it.
Yeah, all we know is what they were planning for the 6th season, but it got canceled. So seeing some kind of continuation of that Spider-Man, whether it be catching up with him in Across the Spider-Verse, or if Disney Plus picks it up for another season, like they're doing with X-Men. And the thing is, X-Men and Spider-Man were set in the same universe, so it's freaking, I guess, hope that X-Men 97, as they're calling it, is a success, so they'll do Spider-Man 98 or something.
That was one of my favorite Spider-Man episodes back then. We're during the mutation miniseries where he visits
that was the crossover with X-Men. They actually had to fly out the entire cast of X-Men to California because X-Men was did their voice recordings in Canada, and then Spider-Man was in California.
Yeah, because it wasn't like that nowadays where you can do things by video chat and audio internet.
They actually had to be there.
Dial up. This is pre-dial up almost back then.
Yeah, which reminds me, I heard that when they were making the new Beavis and Butthead, they're making it during COVID, and so when they're making the movie, they pretty much had to do the entire production of the movie on like Skype or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we find out that apparently in this universe he defeated Thanatos by using the Darkhold, which had to make the other Illuminati members kill him. Having like Black Bolt, I guess, vaporize his body with his things. But now we can get to the big fight. Well, Scarlet, before we do that, we can find out that one of the powers is you can control one of your you can control one of your bodies from another universe, and she uses it to control the body of the mother of the kids, her body. She goes, and now we go to the big fight scene, where the first one I guess was Black Bolt, where I guess he makes his mouth shut up to build pressure. I guess build pressure up to explode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Travis brings up really good something funny about the '90s Spider-Man show. So there was a lot of censorship with that show. Like Spider-Man wasn't even allowed to punch, and and Morbius the vampire couldn't say blood and couldn't
Plasma.
use the word death. I mean, Spider-Man not allowing to punch when he's a superhero.
Oh, it's funny. Yeah, that's true. I saw this another review about that where he's like where he says I need plasma to survive. But the funny thing about this,
What?
blood is in the name of the song, the title song, Spider Blood, Radioactive Spider Blood.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, like you can't say it. You can sing about it. You can sing about blood in the theme song. We can't say it in the movie, in this actual show.
That's dumb.
Yeah, the rule, like, that's how it was with the Family Channel back then. They, like, the best way to describe their censorship policies was like this. So you got Batman the Animated Series, right?
Yep.
That was on the Family Channel. It moved to Kids WB. Every time they submitted a storyboard, they would always get a list of, like, things they couldn't do. With the Family Channel, that list was usually no less than, like, 5 pages long. 5 pages. Kids WB, it would usually be about 2 paragraphs. Not pages, paragraphs.
Wow, and I even remember that even Mark Hamill even was told that he had to tone down his Joker. But then, later on, back when Mark Hamill did all the Batman Arkham games, we could finally see his Joker, flesh out and, and be a little bit more, brutal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Who do you think had the most gruesome death? Was it Black Bolt or was it Mr. Fantastic when he became spaghetti almost?
Mr. Fantastic was pretty brutal how he became spaghetti, but Captain, Peggy had it pretty brutal about how Scarlet Witch, pretty much cut her in half with her own shield. That was pretty.
Oh yeah. Wasn't one of them crushed by the shield, crushed by a statue or something?
Yeah, that one was pretty brutal too. I believe it was that version of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure, but yeah, every single one of those deaths was pretty brutal.
I guess the least brutal of all was Professor X. I guess this guy's neck snapped or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember Professor X even getting killed.
He did.
It was like in a dream state. He was in a dream state or something.
It's something I just realized. Now, like, the longest running live action Marvel actors are now freaking in a death battle to freaking claim the title of longest running live action Marvel actor. Because in No Way Home, Willem Dafoe and Tobey Maguire took the title because it was 20 years after Spider-Man 1, and like Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman, they had the title for a while, but then they retired in Logan. So freaking Tobey Maguire and Willem Dafoe take it back. Well, actually, they just take it because they never had it. And then Patrick Stewart takes it back by being in this movie, and now Hugh Jackman's set to take it back with Deadpool 3.
And yeah, funny because I was about to say that, about Deadpool 3, so. And I even heard it's going to be directed by Sean Levy, who did Free Guy.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, and I believe he did the first Night at the Museum, which I haven't seen that in years.
Same.
Let's see what we got. He battles Mordo. Okay, they go to another. They try to find this. They try to find the Book of Vishanti again. And they travel to another universe where I guess this universe, Doctor Strange has the third eye.
Oh yeah,
I guess he's used. I guess that means he used the Darkhold again or something. He's done something to get the third eye. And Doctor Strange's battle. Go on.
Yeah, I remember that part kind of made me cringe at the movie theater. Seeing him grow, that third eye. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. Apparently, they do a battle of musical notes or something like that.
Yeah, in my own opinion, I kind of felt like the Multiverse of Madness kind of dragged at some parts. Just the pacing just felt kind of off at some points. But of course, that's just my own opinion.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Back in their universe, she captures Wong and makes him take her to some big demon statue place. I guess where the Darkhold is made or something, where she can where she brings in and captures America to drain her powers. I understand what I don't know why she had to. Did they ever explain why she has to drain the powers for herself and not just nicely ask her to use it or something like that? Besides the fact that she can't control her powers at this point, I guess. But no, the only way to do this is to kill her and drain her powers. I don't know if that's her thinking rationally or if that's the Darkhold part of her doing that.
I guess it would make sense if it was, the dark part of it, but other than that, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's yeah, because you never. I guess that they leave that open. You don't know if she's evil for evil's sake or just because of a Darkhold corruption she's evil. So I guess that's one of those fine line things. I guess they want to redeem her later. I guess either they redeem her later, or they bring in another Scarlet Witch from another universe to replace her later. They still want her to have in the universe.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, he does what Scarlet Witch does, and he controls the dead body Strange in his own universe. So we see Zombie Strange. I guess that's his nickname, or Dead Strange. And they battle. They do battle. I guess America opens up the portal so she can to let Scarlet Witch go to her universe, and the kids are scared of her. The kids hate her. And I guess that's her redemption or something like that, or her turning point. Where she's like, what am I doing? I guess. Apparently they wanted the reveal to happen near the end instead of the beginning. They changed their mind, I guess. They wanted to pretend to be good or something the whole movie, and then be evil at the end. They decided to make her evil at the beginning instead. What do you think? Do you think it'd been better if she was the evil reveals was at the end or at the beginning?
Maybe if they saved it for the scene where she slaughters the Illuminati. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I would say the same thing.
So what do you think at the end of the movie? Do you think she had a turning point again that actually decided good when she tried to kill herself, or was it too little, too late by that point? What you, Eric? What do you think?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't seen it ever since the movie theater, so memory is kind of vague on it. But yeah, Travis, what do you think? Yeah,
Yeah, like here's the thing of her trying to kill her thing, killing her other universe in front of her kids, which I guess they don't like. I guess apparently trying to kill their mom in front of them doesn't like bring a very good point of lovely love me now. I killed your mother. I'm your mother now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess she learns to control her powers. She makes the mountain fall on top of her. So we don't know if she's dead, or she pretend to be dead, or what at that point.
well, I'm pretty sure Elizabeth Olsen has like a contract with Marvel, and also considering that Marvel pretty much is the only thing that's been giving her work. So I really don't think that her career with Marvel is over yet. I'm pretty sure that she's going to continue
But I
playing
know,
Scarlet Witch, and
but
even if that version of Scarlet Witch is dead, they have the multiverse. So
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have they defeat her. We have America at the training to use her powers more efficiently or better, and then we had the mid-credit scene where our Doctor Strange gets his third eye.
yeah, and I heard at one point when they were casting Doctor Strange for the first movie, I heard it originally wasn't going to be Benedict Cumberbatch. It was originally was going to be Joaquin Phoenix, but Joaquin Phoenix said no, not because he didn't like the part, but because it would have been a really big commitment for him, and Joaquin Phoenix just did not want to commit to the role for that long.
In fact, I think he was pretty opposed to sequels in general. In fact, I think the upcoming sequel to Joker is like the first one he did.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm pretty sure the only way how he said yes to Joker was only if they did it like his way. So maybe that's why it's going to be a musical. I don't know how I feel about that being a musical. It just, I don't know. Just the first one wasn't a musical. So I don't know. It just feels weird to me. I mean, I totally am all for seeing Harley Quinn, and I heard Harley Quinn is going to be played by Lady Gaga. I think that's actually really, really, really good casting. Just the musical thing, I don't know. It just feels off to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it will make up for it if the songs are catchy. But I don't know. Just the fact that the first movie wasn't a musical, I don't know. It just feels weird to me.
Oh, also something else I've tried to bring up in the movie thing. they look up something, you know, kind of makes sense. You know how things in the other universes, you know, kind of coalesce together. Like in every universe, Peter Parker gets together with MJ somehow. You know, and like here in every universe he goes to, Doctor Strange does not just and Christina do not get together. That's their thing. Apparently every universe he goes to, he tries, but they don't end up together.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. Let's see. Travis says it's hard to say because the Scarlet Witch's villainous arc has been built from Age of Ultron, so it's not certain if she's changed or not, as she's lost everything with very little to lose. Joker's mind is unreliable, so the musical aspect makes sense since he's now full Joker, and the Joker has had musical moments in the past. Correct me if I'm wrong. The only musical moment I can think of was in Batman the Animated Series. But yeah,
he does have songs in Batman Arkham Knight and Batman the Killing Joke, if you want to count the Mark Hamill version.
Okay, I never saw the Killing Joke because I heard it was really bad. And
yeah,
Arkham,
it is pretty bad, but Mark Hamill is one of the highlights.
But yeah, Killing Joke, I heard that movie was really bad.
You know what? I'm going to do shameless shilling. Go watch the review of The Killing Joke by Dark Lord DL Jado. He does a really good review on it.
But yeah, I heard that there was this infamous scene like where Batman and Batgirl have sex.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess I heard that's one of the worst things people hated most about that book or movie was them getting together.
Yeah, a lot of people complain about that sex scene in the movie because I don't even think the sex scene even was it.
Well, basically, the reason why they added all that shit in was because the original comic was not long enough to fill a movie.
So they added in a random sex scene?
No, they added in this whole random, like, plot where Batgirl's trying to stop some random crime boss, and, like, you know, it also has her freaking going all goo-goo eyes over Batman, and then it ends with them having sex, and then it jarringly cuts to the scene where the Joker freaking shoots and paralyzes her.
I think that they have later. I guess if they made her another hero later on or something, but yeah. Anyway, and that whole has and sorry. Do you know if any comic book or interest in that Batgirl has to have any interest at all in Batman at all? I always thought she's more like a father figure than a love interest.
The only version of Batgirl that I'm aware of that had interest in Batman at some point would have to be Batman the Animated Series. Well, the DCAU in general. And it's believed it could be because of Bruce Timm, one of the key people behind the DCAU, just liking shipping them together. I don't know.
Yeah, really? and about Batman the Animated Series.
Listen.
But yeah, I actually was surprised to see that Batman the Animated Series actually is where that famous song, you know, Batman smelled Robin laid an egg. But yeah, that song actually comes from Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, Christmas with the Joker. That's the episode.
It's funny, but really until I saw later on, this is me shipping, I guess. But because the age difference and all of that, until later on when I saw Robin is more in Starfire, I always thought the original Robin Batgirl would get together before, you know, at first.
Yeah, well, Robin's been with Batgirl. Well, the Dick Grayson one anyway. He's been with Starfire on Teen Titans. Yeah, all the different versions.
Hey, you might want to get your Hey, Eric, you might want to get your chat in check.
Oh, I know. I am taking care of it. I think I'm gonna add Travis as a moderator.
Yeah, but yeah. And then we have the end credit scene where we end up with I guess we end up with where Bruce Campbell beat himself up again, and he finally the spell ends, and he beats himself up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that whole thing with the hand definitely reminds me of Army of Darkness. Off of the Evil Dead movies, and so yeah, and so I'm pretty certain that that's why that they added that whole thing in with his hand, which I think only adds to my argument. They totally could put an Ash into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I
Right,
think
so
that would be badass.
So overall, what do you think of this movie overall?
It's by no means terrible. I was a little bit disappointed. There was some missed opportunities with some cameos because it's the multiverse, but of course,
Yeah.
I don't want to let a rumor ruin a movie. I'm just saying there were some missed opportunities. The movie had some pacing issues for me, at least. Overall, the movie was just okay. I didn't love it, but yet I didn't hate it. It was just okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Nick? What do you think overall?
Like I said, I probably would have liked it better if the original plan of it coming first and then No Way Home.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
But
so.
actually, yeah, true. But actually, I did like this coming after I think after it was a good character arc for Doctor Strange. Actually, can see it now because in No Way Home, Doctor Strange has no problem sacrificing the life of one kid, Peter Parker, to save the universe, save the multiverse. But here, he actually tries to save America instead of
that's a
sacrificing
fair
her.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is a fair point. Yeah.
Like he learns that one life isn't worth sacrificing for everyone else.
Yeah.
Even though I guess Peter made the decision himself to sacrifice himself.
Oh wait, Travis brings up a really good point. Multiverse of Madness is an anagram for mom,
Yeah.
which and that makes sense for Scarlet Witch's character. I never thought of it that way.
Wow.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I knew the anagram was mom, but I didn't think that meant it had any purpose or not. But well.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, it does make sense to me. But yeah, what did you two think of Multiverse of Madness? Were you just was there some things you were disappointed with, or what?
Well, like I said, I'm in the same boat as you. I wish there was more cameos from like the older Marvel characters, not just Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, and it also was cool to see John Krasinski, but I hate to be a dead horse. I just really, really hope that that's not going to be wasted with the new Fantastic Four movie.
So is that version of Mr. Fantastic going to be a new movie? Is another character?
It's gonna have to be a different character. Just I
meant another actor. Same.
People were hoping that John Krasinski is brought back, but because he is like one of the best choices for like Mr. Fantastic. But yeah.
But yeah, when I saw that at the theater, I was like, shoot, it sucks he's dead. But I thought, for the Fantastic Four movie, I easily can just have John Krasinski play another version.
Yeah.
Also, I also heard that they want to have Spider-Man in there because I guess Spider-Man and Fantastic Four work together a lot in the comic books.
Yeah, I think the first proper issue of Spider-Man was him trying to join the Fantastic Four. Like, we're not talking Amazing Fantasy 15, which was his very first appearance. We're talking issue 1 of, like, Spider-Man itself.
Yeah, and I even heard a rumor saying that they were going to have the Fantastic Four from 2015 have, like, a crossover with the X-Men. But with how bad that Fantastic Four movie did, that...
Yeah. Yeah, I remember those rumors very well.
Yeah, and yeah, I heard that new Fantastic Four was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So what do you guys have coming up? What do you guys have anything coming up? And I know Stick doesn't have anything coming up on his channel.
Well, I'm starting to slowly post to my channel again, mainly just gameplay and maybe some SFM animations. I don't know if I'm going to be doing like commentated stuff or probably not reviews or anything, but yeah, I'm hoping to do that stuff. I have been doing like earlier. I showed a channel called DL Jado. Well, some of the animations I did have appeared in some of his more recent videos. So I guess you could say I'm a little bit of a promoted fanboy because I've been watching that channel for like 10 years now or so.
Okay.
So that was pretty exciting.
But yeah, for me,
Eric,
vaccines cause autism debunked on Eric the Tyrannoceratops, and that there is a Christmas special of things that piss me off planned. There also is a thing that pissed me off planned about how people are complaining about all these children's stories being turned into horror films. People are saying, "Oh, it's ruining my childhood." I think that that's kind of a dumb argument to use because if your childhood is ruined over a movie, then you must have had a really, really sad childhood.
Yeah.
Bring it up. You're the War on Christmas thing, that whole thing you're talking about on your channel. It's funny, apparently it was Christians that banned Christmas first in the 1800s, or the Pilgrims.
Really?
They were anti-Christmas.
Really? Christians at one point banned Christmas?
Yeah, because like the Puritans or Pilgrims or something, they banned it because it was a pagan. In other words, it was a pagan holiday and stuff.
Jesus.
Which I know that's why the Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate Christmas. It's because it's a pagan holiday. But so there's a few other things planned. I do plan on going to see, that new Grinch horror film called The Mean One. That's actually being released to theaters, which I'm surprised about because, as far as I know, is that the Grinch is not under the public domain. So they're going to have to do...
I don't think it is.
No, it's not. According to my research, the Grinch is not going to go into the public domain until the 2050s. So
makes sense.
So from what I read online, the way how they're trying to get away with this with the Grinch horror film is under parody law.
That is what they're saying. They're calling it a parody.
And
like basically they're trying to do the same shit that like Epic Movie, Disaster Movie, Scary Movie, all those did.
Yep, and on top of that, they also had to change all the names. Like, the Grinch is not called the Grinch, he's called the Mean One. But here's the thing. Even if they changed their names, that's the same thing what happened like with Nosferatu. Nosferatu was an unauthorized adaptation of Dracula. They just changed the names. Even though they changed the names, they still got sued. So changing the names is not a guarantee.
How the hell did Freeburg and Seltzer get away with their crap then? Because they didn't change. All they really did was change the names. Other than that, they used like similar like costumes and all that.
Yeah, I would say it's because of parody law.
Parody law, but Nosferatu wouldn't have used parody law.
Oh, yeah, because I remember your video about having a few weeks ago about how Mickey Mouse was public domain now.
Yeah. Mickey Mouse is set to be public domain in 2 more years. So and
we're wondering if Disney's going to try and fight it.
I wonder because I do know that Disney has, Disney pretty much is the reason why copyright laws are the way that they are now. Because
originally I think it was like 30 years. It was like 30 or 40 years originally. And now, because of Disney not wanting to lose Mickey, first you have to Huh?
Yeah,
Well,
because of
well,
Disney.
first, I think it's
5 years.
how many years? Wait,
Now, as far as my understanding, it's either 70 or 75 years after the author has passed away, or it's 95 years after that work was published. So almost an
something
entire
like
century.
that. Yeah.
So I guess it had to be like when Steamboat Willie came along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so pretty much the version of Mickey Mouse that's going to be going on the public domain is the one from Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
And so I actually messaged the director of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I was asking him, hey, so Mickey Mouse is going to be public domain in 2 more years. Do you think that we'll get a Mickey Mouse horror film, done by you guys? And he said yes. So
Of
yeah.
course.
Yeah. I asked you if you're gonna have Mickey Mouse in your next movie that you're directing.
Yeah, well, if I do, it's gonna have to be the Steamboat Willie version, and I also could even use Winnie the Pooh as long as he doesn't wear the iconic red shirt, and as long as he doesn't have that that voice that he's known for.
The voice he's known for. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also Tigger's gonna go into the public domain in 2 more years.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so that's what I got planned on my channels, and next year is things that piss me off. The movie 3.
Ooh.
Yeah. As for me, next Saturday, via Eric's suggestion, we're going to be talking about the multiverse of the Chainsaw Massacre. Because I did not know their multiverse. They had
There are
timelines.
multiple timelines to Chainsaw Massacre, and Friday the 13th. I guess it has a multiverse because of the reboot, but primarily, it's a pretty consistent.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Nightmare
we'll
on
be
Elm
talking
Street is the same way.
Nightmare on Elm Street is a little bit interesting. You have the first 6 movies and Freddy vs. Jason. Other than the reboot, you have one that kind of diverts with Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's really not much of a multiverse. And Dylan asked, what about the new show Wednesday? I think it looks cool. I haven't seen it yet, but, I don't have any reason to not watch it. But yeah, what I think would be a cool concept for all of us to talk about is if we talk about, like, copyright laws.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. That'd be a good episode too. But that will have to wait for another time. All right. Thank you all for being on here. If interested, we'll see you all next Saturday for Chainsaw Massacre. Until then, never stop learning. Enjoy the randomness. We'll see you next time.